Welcome back to a different type of video. This one is going to be more of a market strategy based concept. We're going to be talking about the ICT 2022 mentorship. We're going to talk about the checklist behind it, what the diagram should look like, and the best timeframes to trade it. So going into the 2022 mentorship, the model is kind of simple. It's a liquidity sweep, breaker structure, fair value gap, entry, target, opposing liquidity. That's almost what exactly the checklist is. It's pretty much exactly what the checklist actually is, right? And the important thing to take in mind of this trading model is that you need to start with a sweep of liquidity. Without any type of drawn liquidity, forget about it. There's no reason to take the trade, right? So looking at this model, we can have, let me just mark this right here. Looking at the checklist, we can see this diagram has everything you need, right? So we have the sweep of liquidity down here. We also have the drawn liquidity up here. And the second thing that needs to happen after you sweep out liquidity is you either get a breaker structure or you inverse a fair value gap. So in this case, we get a breaker structure to the upside, closing above this previous high. In that breaker structure, this leads to a fair value gap being made. Now, the entry model of this 22 mentorship, would be as soon as the fair value gap gets hit, you would put your stop at the recent fair value gap, depending on the size of it, and then you would target opposing drawn liquidity, right? However, you would only take this model into account if it's on a lower time frame. Recognize the 5, the 3, the 1, the seconds time frame. That is the best time to take this type of model. In my opinion, the 3-minute and the 1-minute is the perfect time to take the trade with this model, because you have a higher chance of hitting that drawn liquidity. On the 4-hour chart, it's going to take you a while, and it might even fucking just not work, right? It won't work on the 1-hour chart, but it will work on the lower time frames, the 15, 5, the 3s, the 1, because that is where price is most likely to make that quick move for internal liquidity and external draws and liquidity as well. So let's head to the charts and actually see this play out, right? So the first things first, right here, this is a pretty good example of the 2022 mentorship right here, right? So we have two things. We have this high right here that we're going to mark out. That's buy side right here. And we also have this fair value gap that can be used as a draw on liquidity. And obviously this low down here that we're going to mark out as well. So paying attention to these type of things are what we look for first. We have a high up here. We have buy side up here. We have reasons to push down. Once you have reason to push down, you can start to look for a trade. Fair value gap would be take profit 1. This low would be our runner. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for a confirmation. All right. So the 1 minute, we end up sweeping out this high. We wait. That's the first thing off our checklist. This high gets swept. That's our sweep of liquidity. We look for a breaker structure. Price break structure right here, getting a nice closure under this previous low. And it also generates our fair value gap right here. You can see on our checklist, a sweep of liquidity has been taken again. We get a breaker structure, which is right here. And we get that fair value gap, which is right here. Now, our next target would be, our next check would be an entry. We would enter aggressively from this fair value gap with stops at the recent highs. Looking to target, first take profit at this fair value gap. And then we can have a runner push all the way down into either the bottom of the fair value gap or this recent low that we have marked out right here. Now, you can see price never actually takes out that low, right? It may come for it right now going into tomorrow, but it never takes out this low. That's fine. In a real trade scenario, you would most likely trail your stop, or you should be trailing your stop to this recent high as the lower you get to this low, right? So you would pretty much end right here. The trade would end right here at the bottom of the fair value gap, most likely. And that's where you would end the trade. However, you can see how this model is starting to play out, right? We'll just use this as the model right here. You can see how the trade is actually starting to end up right here. You get the sweep, breaker structure, fair value gap, entry, target, opposing liquidity. There it is. Let's look for another example. This one we're going to do the 5-minute. I feel like you can find a lot more on the 5 than here. So this is actually a really good example. I'm actually a really big fan of this one right here. We have buy side up here, right? We have, this looks similar to what we just drew out over there. So we have buy side up there. We have sell side down here. It all starts with liquidity. Where is price most likely to go? Where do we take out first? So we took out this low. We left this high up here. This is our draw liquidity. We anticipate price to push there. So what do we look for? Okay, we see about this low. There's nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, there we go. Breaker structure right here. On that breaker structure, what do we create? create a fair value gap. It may be small, but it's there. Recognize. Let's mark this out right here. A small fair value gap, but it's there. So what do? We enter a long on this fair value gap right here with stops at the recent lows, which could be right here. Look at a target, this draw on liquidity for buy side. And that is how the 22 model is played. It happens almost every single day. You will find this type of model happen almost every single day. It won't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it does work efficiently, right? And it all starts with one thing: liquidity. Sweep, break a structure, fair value gap, buy side levels entered, and you can see how it gets hit right there. So this was kind of a quick video, but it was a very, very efficient video. If you can understand this model and see it every single day, it becomes so much easier. And I think it's a great introduction to ICT concepts itself, because you are putting yourself in a position where you understand, okay, I'm understanding liquidity a lot with this model, and I understand what a fair value gap is a lot with this model as well. That is a great introduction to ICT concept. You can start using the other things, right? Like me personally, I would have waited on the lower time frame to see something maybe like this, right? Where, okay, we got that sweep right there, right? We got the sweep right here. SMT puts in place right here, going into the 1250 macro. I would have taken this trade off of this fair value gap right here, just because I understand what price is looking at on the lower time frame. But as a beginner trader, I would have taken it right here with stops at the recent fair value gap right there, looking at target, posing, draws, and liquidity up here, right? But you won't see that as a beginner trader. To me, this is the best entry model you can have as a beginning ICT trader, right? It's the most easiest concept to learn. It's pretty much three things: liquidity, breaker structure, fair value gap, entry. Three things. It is, in my opinion, the best model you can learn if you're trying to learn ICT concepts. If you want to start trading, this is the easiest model to learn, in my opinion. And then once you obviously understand all of that, you can start looking at the seconds time frame and get a little more complex with it, but more precise. Like my model is the market maker model. I made a video on it. It's probably the best model that's out there. Not even being biased, but once you understand the 22 model, I think this would be a great way to open up to all the other models, and you could, make your strategy even better from there. So hope you guys did enjoy this video. With that being said, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna make another video on some more strategies later on this week. I think I like doing this type of content. But that being said, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys understood a little bit what's going on with these models right here and how to actually use it. Like, I hope you genuinely use this properly, because if you use it properly, it will become an ATM machine for you. Like, it happens almost every single day. So just be smart with it. Look at this video over and over if you have to. And again, it all starts with three things: liquidity, breaker structure, fair value gap, entry. That's it. So other than that, I will be ending the video here. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. We have a free Discord where you can trade live with us every single day, down in the description. Other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.